Da det såpass mye som skjer i smaksbildet. Man blir rett og slett glad av det ølet her. Vinneren av kategorien årets øl er...
Well, my story with food, I think, well, it started in the kitchen. My dad's a chef, so I kind of grew up in the kitchen, I would say. Being able to just experiment and play with different sauces and marinades and herbs and spices, smelling and tasting. But I did also, a part of it started also in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. At a restaurant called Det. It's absolutely one of my favorite restaurants all time. That's where the king, queen of Netherlands go and eat. Jamie Oliver, Cameron Diaz. I brought my homebrew there back in the days when I started doing homebrew. And the owner came by, quite curious of who brought some homebrew from Norway. He tasted it and loved it, and actually invited me and my friend to come down again so he could show us the countryside of Amsterdam. And we did, just a couple of months later. And I brought some more homebrew, and he was impressed and he enjoyed the beer. And I kind of left Amsterdam that time, just decide that I'm gonna start a brewery. This is what I want to do. This is both beer and food, and as I said, as a kid, being able to experiment on the kitchen, I think that reflects a lot of what Drum Brew is today. We've got a beer with carrots, we've got ginger and chilies, and that's kind of what I think Drum Brew is. Always exciting that you might have some beers that you put away, that you brewed just as a test batch many years ago, and yeah, it's not much here, but it is some. There we go. Wow, this is just a this is actually before we made the milk stout with the, you see, M15. That's the yeast we use now. It's a Mangrove Jack M15 Empire Ale, and we actually use that yeast in the Gin Ale, the milk stout, and the golden ale that we just released now a week ago. So this is how the label was going to be or look like. So you can see that we actually changed the hop with the goat, and it's not chef's port, it's king's port. But we might. God, I'm curious of how this tastes, but I'm not going to open it now, I think. Or should we? Here is some others, I don't know what they are. I think this one's an IPA. I remember that we brewed an IPA, real old school IPA with just tons of hops, high in alcohol, so this is probably also quite nice. And yeah, we've got some, this is just a beer from our neighbors, Kärlinglands from Lillesand. They make great beer as well. So it's not that, but it's always nice to come down here to see what we put. And this is actually the Grand Cru. Yeah, my brother must have put this down because we just bottled that 2 weeks ago. Interesting.
My name is Kjetil Jikun. I guess that in the beer world I'm most famous for being the founder or the co-founder of Nøgne, the first modern craft brewery in Norway. At the moment I have a small brewery on the island of Crete in Greece, and also a vineyard and a wine project there. I would like to add that I'm also quite proud of the fact that I am the first person who brewed sake, the Japanese rice beverage, commercially in Europe. So yeah, done a few interesting things over time. I met Erlend first time at Arendal Brewery. It's very simple because he brews his beers there and I brew my beers for the Norwegian market there. So there we met and we started to discuss and talk about different projects, and then we realized that it would be the perfect opportunity to brew a beer together. Erlend is a very passionate person, and he's even though he has a business as a beer brand, Drum Brew, he's not really what you would call a businessman. He's in it for his passion, for his love, for first of all beer, but he has always he's totally understood the fact that beer, craft beer, is not only about beer, it's about people. And he's a great communicator, and he connects people, and he works with people. And I think this is his strength, the love of people, the love of flavors, the love of interacting.
My goal? Wow. Well, my goal is actually to have a brewery with the restaurant and the possibility of having people stay over, so you could actually travel from abroad and come to Norway, the south of Norway. It's beautiful here, but to being able to stay a place, visit the brewery, being able to taste all of our beers and also food that is perfectly combined with the beer. Yeah, I think that is the main goal.
I think Norwegian craft beer has very high quality, and for that reason, I think Norwegian craft beer is very well respected among craft beer drinkers all over the world. It's great fun to work with Erlend and to reach out and be like ambassadors for this. At the moment, we don't do much export, if any at all. But of course, craft beer is a global phenomenon, and we have friends everywhere. Arendal, Grimstad, the area in the south, is not really the epicenter of good beer in Norway. I think it's more like Oslo and Bergen. So the location here is not really perfect for making good beers, but I guess we all come from somewhere, and we just start doing things where we're from. But I would like to point out that it's very interesting that in Grimstad, where Norge was started, they had a long tradition for making fruit wines, like from rhubarb and other fruits. And then Norge came up as the first modern Norwegian or craft brewery in Norway. And shortly after, we had the first distillery in Norway. That was Puntervoll, which is now Det Norske Måltid. And it's interesting that a small town as Grimstad has had so much success in making alcoholic beverages in an area where their mainstream religion is very much against alcoholic beverages. That's a paradox.
First of all, I do really respect my wife more and more. Looking back at the beginning, just having, beer in the whole house was just a brewery mainly, just being patient with me, believing that it would work out. I would not have been able to do this without her, no matter how. So yeah, Elizabeth has been a major rock in this trip, if I can say that. My brother, absolutely. My brother, he was the one that kind of introduced me to brewing, and he's, we're quite different, me and my brother. At the same time, very similar. He's kind of the handyman that just fixes everything. He can. I know that if I'm having trouble with anything, making or transporting or moving, he's got the idea if I don't. So my brother has always been there at my side. And of course, my dad. I've spoken a lot about him because, he's the one that kind of made the gave me the passion for food and spices. I remember him. You know, he wanted to teach me and my brother about tastes and smells. And I remember once he given me a stick. We were out camping, and he gave me a stick and saying, "All right, Alan, I want you to chew this stick and say what you taste." And I was just a kid, and I remember just taking a bite of the stick, and it just tasted horrible. And he said, "Well, I didn't ask you for the texture. I asked you for the taste." And that kind of did something to my head, because he's got right, you know, it's not the texture, because that was horrible, that was just... But when he asked me to find the taste of this stick, I suddenly noticed soil and kind of a grassy, you know, green apple. Something just started there. And after that, I think I was chewing and tasting everything. Hans Petter Clemetsen from Smagen Behag. He's been very important because he's you know, he's an amazing chef, but he's also a dead serious, honest guy. You know, you need a guy like that when you're doing a brewery. You need someone that you know you get the right answer from, or not the right answer, but the honest answer. So that's helped a lot.
Hans Petter Clemetsen driver Smagen Behag i Grimstad og i Kristiansand. Møtte Erlend tilbake i 2016-2017 i forhold til øl. Jeg kjente han litt før det.
Det har vært en vill reise, men jeg husker veldig godt. Jeg tror det her var vel et av de første stedene som var, liksom, betydde virkelig stort å få øl inn på. Og jeg husker jeg var pissnervøs. Men jeg husker også at når jeg gikk ut herfra, og du sa, ja, men vi kan ta med kassa den. Da husker jeg hadde den følelsen med at ok, nå kan jeg få komme inn hvor som helst. Altså, det var
det er jo hyggelig da. Du hadde sånn entusiasme som jeg digget, og en entusiasme for smak, og de tingene, og det trenger man. Man trenger lidenskap da. Og hvis det er noen som har vist lidenskap til hva de holder på med, så er det deg. Og det er derfor jeg heier så fryktelig, for du vil det så skikkelig, og du har levert vanvittig kule øl i etterkant. Det er litt sånn, sammen med mine gjester, eller de som er kokker. Jeg sammenligner det veldig med å være kokk. Vi lager ofte retter som vi blir lei av. Sant? Så kokker hele tiden søker å lage mer og mer spesielt, så vi skal tilfredsstille vår egen gamme, veldig ofte. I stedet for at du tenker å få det litt enklere. Ikke pøs på som det er så mye forskjellige smaker. Less is more. Det tar litt tid før at man forstår de tingene. I gamle dager jeg hadde alt for mye smaker på alt. Jeg var for less is more. 1, 2, 3, 4 ting på en rett. Det skal holde, og retten skal være spennende nok. Og det tar det litt inn i øl også. Ikke kludre for mye med tingene. Det er mitt tips da. Og så kan man gjøre kule ting.
Imperial gullerot goose fra Drum Brew.
Hæ? Nei, det er mulig!
Wow!
Oi, det var gøy.
Ja, wow! Det
var
helt vanvittig. At the beginning, you know, when I came back from Amsterdam, saying that, you know, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna start a brewery. Maybe 80% just kind of, well, yeah, laughed it away and said that, you know, there's a lot of breweries now. That's not possible, and that kind of gave me a drive to just, you know, do it better and just keep on doing it. But there was quite a lot of people also that they said that, wow, this is cool, you know, I hope you'll manage. But you could see on their faces that they didn't mean it. They kind of just like thought that it's never gonna happen. So a lot of people doubted it, and I think it's very important to stick with the people that believe in you, so you could, you know, share ideas with someone. Because at the beginning, a lot of ideas sound crazy. Just like when we were out in the carrot field, talking about making a carrot gauze. You know, that must sound just stupid. And let's put some spices from the gin harahun and put it on an oak barrel, sell one bottle for 1,000 kroners. I think that's also something that would just sound stupid. So, but you know, you mustn't listen to the people around you. You just gotta follow your dream and dream crazy and big, I think. And we're here now to actually taste the beer that's just won actually Norway's Beer of the Year. And this has been lying here on an oak barrel for a year now, and I'm so excited.
So am I.
What do you think?
It's like unwrapping a present, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
How I felt brewing the best beer in Norway. Well, that felt amazing. You know, as I said earlier, I've got a passion for food, and I've always wanted to, you know, work with food or beer or something like that, and to have, you know, some of the best chefs in Norway, you know, saying that your beer actually is the beer that we enjoyed the best. Yeah, it touches something in me, and we couldn't have won any other prizes better, I think. This smells like nothing I've ever smelled, honestly. I don't know what to say.
I'm actually surprised because this is a relatively old barrel. It's been used for cognac, it's been used for gin.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel that the oak and the vanilla comes out in a very nice way. It's not overpowering at all, but it's there in the background.
I really find the fruitiness and the floral,
Mm-hmm.
and the color is just so much more golden and clear than I would ever expect.
Yeah, totally. And I also find that the gin spices are there, but it doesn't overpower at all. It's beautiful. I have to try it. Cheers. Wow. It's very crisp. It has layers and layers and layers of fruit and spices. There's the thing with this. You don't know which way it goes as from the microbiological perspective, but nothing has gone wrong here. There's no acetic notes. There's no unwanted sourness. It's beautiful.
I'm so surprised that it hasn't changed, but it has changed into something else. I think it's like, yeah, the sourness just surprised me because it's really balanced.
Yeah, totally. Wow. This should be packaged now.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. This must be at its peak. It's awesome. Fantastic.
I agree. Well, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's get it out.
Congratulations.
Same to you. Thank you so much. You know what I want to do? I want to invite Kjetil Gikun and Hans Petter and Odd Nelvik from the Norske Måltid, and let's just, you know, stay at the cottage, and me and Kjetil can brew beer. Odd Nelvik and they can just, you know, about the liquor, and Hans Petter would definitely go crazy, just picking the shellfish and the seaweed, and we could go fishing. Definitely going to do that. So that's the goal for the next month. Ja. En i uka. Den har vi jobbet masse sammen, så det er bare herlig.
Oi, det er veldig generøst. Tusen takk.
Jeg tenkte vi kunne ha med, ikke sabel.
Kan jeg sette den her?
Ja, ja, ja. Jeg tok med den svadde, de der borte, ja. Du har noe lys til i glasset, eller?
Ja. Jeg er god så. Klar for det.
Nei, nå på lørdag, så hadde vi en smaking. Der var det en veldig ivrig sjel. Men da skulle jeg gjerne hatt deg der, for det var noen spørsmål som gikk veldig i dybden.
Ok, ja.
Men det får jo... Det gjør jo at vi får jo tenkt litt, da.
Sant det. Det tar vi.
Vil du?
Vi hadde 68 grader, og så har vi tilsatt malt som har kjørt dette ned i noen grad. Og nå etter hvert som dette blir sirkulert, så vil vi se at temperaturen går ned litt. Og da vil vi måtte sette på varmen. Jeg vil tro at nå er kjernen av det vi nettopp mesket inn. Nå er den nede på 64 eller noe sånt nå. Altså. Og grunnen til at dette er så viktig, er fordi at den optimale temperaturen for beta-amylase-enzymet er på 63 grader. Da får du korte sukkerforbindelser som kan gjære helt ut, som gjæren kan metabolisere 100%. Da blir det et tørt øl med mye alkohol. Mens på 72 grader så aktiviserer du den optimale temperaturen for å aktivisere alfa-amylase-enzymet. Og det lager komplekse, lange sukkerforbindelser som gjæren bare i noen grad kan spise. Og da får du et søtt øl med lite alkohol. Og så når vi legger oss på en temperatur midt imellom, for eksempel da 68, så styrer vi den balansen mellom korte og komplekse sukkerforbindelser.
Og den snelte kosten var der.
Ja, da er det i gang, liksom.
Så det er jo... Ja, skål.
Aktelegg, sprøtt rugbrød.
Ja. Og mayo.
En hollandes på ramsløk. Så er det tørka ramsløk her. Begynner du å snurre den, for jeg ser det litt varmere her inne. Så her har jeg lagd en, som saus da, så har jeg lagd en hummerbisk som er redusert ned, jevnet litt grann, og så montert opp med litt grann rømme. Bare sånn litt tyknet og ligger liksom, så blir det en hvit pizza egentlig da, med hummer. Det her jeg synes er faen så gøy, vet du. Denne skal vi gjøre det. Jeg lå og trakk litt, så den ble litt varm, så den er nok litt, men den ble en fin krem, men det er nok litt kokt egg i bakgrunnen der. Litt posjert egg, men vi overlever det.
Men det var veldig fint til den bilen. Det var helt nydelig ting. Men komboen...
Det er jo som trøffelsesong, du får trøffel på alt. Koker det, reduserer den ned, og så trekker de aspargesen i den aromatiske hvitvinslaken. Og det gjorde de ofte med til sjokk, for da mister ikke den fargen heller på grunn av syra. Men det er utrolig.
Ja, da har vi en...
Men så må du samtidig treffe skjøyten. Skjøyten, ikke vel?
Ja, litt godt, ja.
Det var skjøyten.
Ja. Ok, er dere klare?
En, to... Åh! Gøy da. Den var lekker. Skulle nesten ikke tro du har gjort det.
Arendals julebordsvask over hele gård.
Oi.
Ta flammer på
Det bare fantastisk å være her og få opplevd det samspillet som mellom så flinke fagfolk. Det Drum Brew holder på med så spennende, og jeg sikker på at alle dere som ikke har kjennskap til det, vent, se 3 år fra nå, se hva han har fått til. Og med de flinkeste folka i området rundt seg, som alle vil han det aller beste, så kommer han til å lykkes, og han kommer til å inspirere oss alle til at vi skal bli så mye bedre.
Skål. Det har vært en helt fantastisk kveld å møtes litt på tvers av fagene. Der kokk, destillatør, bryggere møtes sammen og bare deler erfaringer og ideer. Det mange som tror det. Bare helt magisk. Og det faktisk flere samarbeid på gang som kommer til å utvikle seg. Jeg kan ikke si så mye om det nå, det litt for tidlig, men ting kommer ut av dette som veldig positivt. Og en fantastisk kveld, både sosialt og faglig, faktisk.
Jeg synes det en fantastisk kveld. Hyggelig å sitte med fagfolk på ølfronten. Vi har legender. Vi har legender på jeg kaller det brennvisfronten. Altså Det Norske Brenneri med Jon Bertelsen og Odd Nelvik. Det magisk. Det har vært en fantastisk kveld. Og så har du Erlend som vil og klarer så ekstremt mye og leverer øl etter øl på ekstremt høyt nivå. Så jeg er jo bare en kokk. Jeg er utrolig glad for å være med på reisen og mene noe. Så jeg vil bare si til Erlend, tusen takk. Det var gøy. Som vokser i stranda på...
Ja, jeg vet jo hvordan det ja.
Og den litt søtere enn vanlig gressløk. Og fungerer med solbriller og solbriller. Du gjør den på 60 år.
Han skal til den innerste for...
Ja, det deilig skal være sånn.
Du vil det?
Ja, ok. Det må være sånn.
Når du snakker om majonesen, så jeg sa det til Katrin for familierelasjoner har sin utfordringer, og vi alle framme, og jeg føler på Jeg må si det.
Nei, det bare gir gass.
Ja.
Jo, men du spiste jo masse mat.
Den er magnetisk! Det var faen meg
Og sto på, så fikk du jo noen problemer med noe revmatisme. Men søren, jeg hadde så storglass min mage. Taket skulle bare jobba, altså. Men det for det der... Så æres det som æres bør, ikke sant? Og det kan ingen ta fra henne.
Skål dere! Fantastisk!
Vi har Harald.
Tenker du, er det det?
Og så har vi litt Fever Tree.